So there you go. Hello, everybody. We're now recording. We've got lovely Seth's wife here. We've got Sam. We've got Marta, Travis, and myself talking, having another gathering to just move the plans forward for Travis's team experience to Peru next year. Ta-da! So. The goal of today, Travis, on our agenda is just talk you through the project developments, anything else you need from that. And now where we're kind of for logistics going to move the accommodation from Calca to the cool little town of Pisac. So Sam just wants to talk you through that. What else is on your agenda so we can give everyone an outline of what we're going to natter about?
I think the other thing that I've been getting feedback on is we've started reaching out to some companies about helping us, and we've gotten some, monetary help, but a lot of people are asking about what they could donate, supplies, tools, safety gear, things like that. So I wanted to, if not get an answer today, just talk through that a little bit and see if there's anything in particular this community needs that would be more useful than other things. For example, if we have a big donation of hard hats, but we know that nobody in that village is ever going to wear a hard hat, then it's kind of silly for us to bring them. Or maybe gloves are more valuable to the community or things like that. So just talking through what would be, as we're getting people wanting to donate things other than money, what would be useful for the community. So
Okay.
I was going to say, I love the way you're thinking, Travis. I love that mentality in terms of like the community needs, because it is true. A lot of people through here and they just think that everyone will take everything. It's like, oh, they just need it. But a lot of people are used to working with a lot less here, so their solutions are very
sure.
different. So I love that. I think for me, it might even be that I could probably suggest some things, but I think I would maybe we can have a little bit of a general chat today, but I also might have a meeting with Kenko and maybe talk about through some, actually like talk to them specifically so that we can see what kind of things would be useful. A lot of the tools that they use are very much like manual labor tools, I would say, just from my experience working with them. So you've got a lot of like pickaxes, you've got, I mean, hammers even, like stuff like that, like more manual tools, I think would be a lot more useful. I've never seen anyone wear a hard hat, so that's a very good point. But I mean, it may
Exactly.
be some.
Yeah.
I could also suggest it though, because for sure, for some things, if the project is going to be developing, I could certainly talk to them about it. But from my experience, I think people just use what is available. But like things like hammers, gloves, because there are a lot of like prickles up there, so they're like working with trees all the time. Um, uh, yeah, hammers, gloves, pickaxes. They still use some ancestral tools as well that they kind of like make themselves, but it's a lot of like wood-based things. If there are some
Sure.
more like modern things that and who knows, if you had some suggestions of like people have said like, hey, we want to donate this, and if you want to send that through, and I can like kind of talk to the community, explain what it is, and we can kind of see as well if they can see a use for that. We can also work a little bit like that too, if you've got some people like suggesting some things. But I think for the moment, at least, I'll give you that like at least direction, which is like a lot more manual labor tools like hammers, uh, like nail, all of those kind of things. You can get nails here, but no, I know that there's always like one hammer in every community, and it seems to like always get lost. So stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I'll have a meeting with them about that specifically, so that we can get you some more tangible kind of ideas as well, and you can feel free to send me any of those suggestions that people are saying, and I can talk directly with Kenko just to make sure it's something that would be useful to them, and also wouldn't just be you guys bringing a bag for nothing.
Uh,
That'd be great. That was the hope. We're only gonna have so much space, so I don't want to
Of course,
bring things
yeah.
that are. I don't want to be not a waste, but just not what is most effective. And we're getting, like I said, some monetary help, but a lot of this is people saying, yeah, we can't give you a check, but we have connections with all these people, and we'll send you. I mean, they can send all kinds of things. So if you do get a list of what the needs are, it could be just any kind of thing. We can definitely help try to get materials over there. There's a guy that reached out to me from a PVC supplier. named Harrington Industrial Plastics, and they have like an international export division that they were
Oh,
like, we could get material. My big concern is getting big materials to such a remote location and the challenges of that. But they said they have a division. They're international. They deal with this stuff all the time, and they'd be willing to do something, some sort of like big material delivery if that would help the community out. But similar thing, if
hmm.
there's no need for PVC pipe, if that's just not what they use over there, if there's no experience putting that together, then that's not particularly useful. But if that sounds like something that could be good, it sounds like they're willing to, if anything, get the material at least to Cusco, and maybe there's some kind of
Mm.
effort that needs to be made to get it from Cusco. But um, they had offices in Lima or Lima, I don't remember how you say it, but they do have a presence in Peru, and they can get materials there, do all the customs and that kind of stuff. So
Amazing.
I'll just keep you updated as I have people come forward with material suggestions, and if you could just
Hmm.
provide
Yeah.
a list once you talk to them, we'll start trying to get some things together.
Definitely. I'll make that a priority. We're going to be seeing Kenko. We're actually going to be going up to Kenko soon in general, but I'll also have a chat with Julia. She's normally she sees them all the time, so I'll have a chat with her and we can start getting like a meeting so we can kind of get a bit of a clearer list for you guys to help guide. And we can always have a discussion about it too and be like, hey, would this work? No, yes, because we're happy to make those hard decisions, and I also don't want to yeah, I don't want to have to be bringing over stuff, well, you guys to be bringing over stuff or having to do all of that coordination if it's not going to be used, which we want to make sure everything's, useful for the community and there's.
Top tip.
Exactly. And we had somebody who offered like an entire backpack full of power tools, but if no one's using power tools and no one has used them before and there's no power source, then that's just a big backpack full of nothing, full of nothing. So,
Mm.
Hmm.
we'll figure that out as we go. But we do have a lot of interest there, so I'm hopeful we can get a lot of good donations to
Yeah,
bring with us and leave there. So,
perfect.
I prune a lot of trees here. We've got a lot of fruit trees. And someone introduced me. I know this is a random thing, but it could be a great suggestion. Is you can get now these tiny saws, which are about, well, they're tree pruning saws, which are really durable, really hard, and they're a game changer. And I know they do have to do a lot of pruning up there.
Hmm.
So that might be worth asking them. They're not the little scissors, they're little tough saws.
Lovely. Well, yeah, I'll have a chat with Julia and also have a chat with Kenko, and that can certainly be a priority to get you guys a list. And then it can help you guys, make the decisions on, what's going to be useful and what's not. So that's perfect there.
sounds good.
What Millie was also mentioning was before, we've decided to make a change to the accommodation, the location, mainly because obviously we've decided on Kencor and we're super excited about that. We just want to limit the transfer time each day. So Pisac's kind of in the middle of Kencor and Calca, and it's actually a very bustling little town. So it's a lovely place to kind of, well, sit down, have a nice dinner, enjoy yourself after. It's got a little bit more going on than Calca actually, so it might actually be a little bit funner for you guys. And the transfer time is going to be about 35 minutes to the project each day, a little bit more. We'll say 35 to 40 minutes max. But it's going to be a lot less than it would have been before, which means that we'll be able to kind of, manage everyone's health, be closer to the hospitals and stuff if need be, depending on how people feel. But ultimately, yeah, we don't ever really have any, emergencies or problems, but we just want to make sure we plan so that you guys feel safe, and supported. And obviously, I'm not sure if other people have been at altitude before, but we want to be able to manage everyone's health and make sure that they're feeling, as good as can be.
I think a lot of our group's been in altitude for leisure activities or maybe even some
Mm.
extreme sports and things like that. But working day in and day out, I think that's going to be new for all of us
Hmm.
at that elevation. So it looks like too that it's a lot lower elevation than Kenka, right? It's like a good 2 or 3,000 feet lower in elevation. Um,
Yeah,
It
so
looked like on
Kenko's
like Wikipedia and stuff. So
yeah. So
I saw
Kenko is
13,000.
yeah. Well, Kenko has a lot of different levels. So what we're planning on doing is working on some of the lower levels. So obviously the project is very big. There may be like one day where you guys go and visit some of the higher levels, but you won't necessarily be working. So we're going to work on like trying to get you guys working at lower altitude as much as possible. But also
Okay.
we're going to have a lot of community help. So it's not just going to be, you got the idea is you're working with the community on the project. Um, but we've had a lot of these working projects in Kenko before, and we've managed them pretty well, and we found that people's health has still been, it's been easier to manage, especially when you've got a group that are coming with like the attitude that you guys are coming, which is you know what you're expecting, and
Zero.
I think
Yeah.
that yeah, it's like it's good when sometimes we have groups of teenagers that come and they're dragging their feet. They don't want to come. But, I think that when you're coming for a project like this, that also helps a lot with the mentality of the group and the project. So, we're designing the project to best help you guys acclimate. But also, it doesn't all have to be uh, about like physical labor as well. There are also other parts of that project which are more, you don't have to be like lifting things all the time. And we're going to have like alternate activities we're going to plan it very well with Julia and Kenko, the community of Kenko, to make sure that it aligns with, yeah, the trip that you guys have planned.
And also,
Awesome.
Travis, what I know after the last conversation, we were thinking, we're going to work in Kenko and stay up there, but we kind of listened to what the team were thinking, and I was kind of mindful, having done it, when you do the volunteering, it's really nice to volunteer during the day, and then retreat, shower, supper, have a beer kind of it's like kind of down tools and have that kind of team camaraderie and then good night's sleep and go again as opposed to the accommodation being as gritty as the day. So
And
that's,
like, Kinko is lovely, and they really wanted to see if they could accommodate you guys. But we also thought, considering the plan was to do the bigger trek afterwards, it would be nice to have a slightly more comfortable accommodation before you start
yeah.
camping. So it's just a strategic thing, give you as many hot showers as possible before you get out into the wilderness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that town. I'm looking at the town now. It looks like it's a cool little place.
Oh my God,
I
it's
think being down a little bit in elevation will be nice. That'll be good. Is
Pisac
it? Are you thinking like? Is there like host families there? Is it like an Airbnb situation, or what's the initial thought there?
Um, we've been scouting. Well, we have a few different providers. I'm basically trying to see if I can get a hotel that you guys can kind of it's like a small boutique hotel. So you guys kind of like
Hmm.
occupy it mostly. So I've got a few options at the moment and I've just basically got to make a decision. I'm going to go have a meeting with a few of them and maybe, yeah, basically make a decision on what I think is best for you guys because they've got a whole lot of different accommodations. They're all in beautiful buildings, very boutiquey. It's a very like a hippie type community too. So there are some places which are a little bit more geared towards that kind of a vibe. And I think we just want to find a place where you guys, are kind of centric, in town. But it's not too loud either. We want to make sure that you guys can sleep. So yeah, we're tossing up a few different places at the moment, but I'll send you those. I'll send you it once we've gotten closer to the final decision. But I've contacted about three or four at the moment that I'm deciding on that most suit your group.
Okay, I was just curious.
No, but it's a super lovely. It's got everything, shops very close by, places to have a beer, good restaurants too that aren't going to get you sick. Because I will say Calca has less, it's lovely. I mean, we love Calca. I live in Calca. But it's less geared towards tourists, which means that it can also be that like, you have to be a little bit more careful where you eat. Our stomachs are made of iron now that we've lived here for this long, but obviously I can't put everyone else under the same standards.
Construction workers have pretty iron
That's
line
that's
stomachs as well. But
yeah, that's true
I
actually.
know it's you should see some of the diets I see over here. It's disgusting to be honest. But
Okay. So
Um,
anything else, Travis, which the team have been asking?
I know there's a few of my folks on here. Does anybody that's on have any questions? That maybe I am not remembering or that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh yeah, we've got Ben and Mason in the background. Any
I don't have
questions
any
from anyone?
questions.
Yeah,
I've just been
not.
I
listening
think I'm
in.
good.
mhm,
Okay.
cool.
So just, moving forward, like the kit list, what you need to take. At what point do you want to see that? I mean, most people don't want to see that till about 6 months before you go, but would you like us to send that now? Would that be useful? Or actually, is it just something that's going to get ignored until it becomes more prevalent?
Um, I mean we'll take it now. The group has some pre-planners that would probably use it. Another half probably won't look at it till the week before. But I think having it now would be just useful for some of the folks. I'll probably take a peek at it. Um, so that works just to see that, and then yeah, we've the flights that we sent over to you a while back, we were able to book those. So flights are booked. Um,
Brilliant.
as we get a little closer, I'm sure you've seen this a million times now. Those flights will change 5 minutes here, 5 minutes
Yeah.
there, all the time when it's this far away. So once we get a little closer, we'll provide an update if it's moved a little bit one way or the other. But right now, although we're coming from different locations, we're all arriving. The plane that comes to Cusco, we should all be on the same plane.
Brilliant
So
Amazing.
planning. Brilliant
Yeah,
planning.
from your perspective, it'll all be. And yeah, sure, maybe there's a bad connection. We all have multiple hours at each place, so we shouldn't have any connection issues. Knock on wood, but if we do, we'll just we'll deal with it as we can. But we should all show up around. I think it's like 11:15, 11:30 on Friday in Cusco. So,
amazing. No, that's perfect. And I honestly, as well, if there are any hiccups, like we are masters at dealing with all the hiccups. So, well, once we
sure.
have the information, if someone says, "Hey, my flight's been delayed for some reason," like we'll coordinate the transport, we'll figure all of that out. I did also want to
Okay.
properly introduce Marta, who's my colleague. She's just been here. So Marta, I work very closely with. So you'll be also communicating with her. Um, I have, for example, well, I'll still be working, but I'll have a trip to Australia in September. So my time's going to be a little bit different so for a little bit. So Marta, I might be copying in her in some of the emails so that, if you guys need a quick response, Marta will be able to give you a response just for that period in September when I'll be working on a different schedule. So I just wanted to introduce you to her now. So she's probably going to be copied in just so she's like, aware of everything that's going on. And then that also allows you guys to
Sure.
get obviously quick responses when needed.
That sounds like a plan.
Hmm.
Great. Just the distance, Sam and Marta, from Cusco to Pisac, how long is that journey? Just when they arrive?
Yeah, 45 minutes probably to get to Pisac. Yeah, maybe even less. We'll probably drive calmly, because I think sometimes as well it's a bit of a windy road, so we'd normally like to take the time because some people can get a little bit car sick. But so we'll say 45 minutes. That's being generous. It might be a little bit less.
And then that first day is a kind of recover day, explore Pisac day,
Yeah.
meet everybody, and then action the next day.
Yeah. So also what I'm trying to do as well, I'm trying to find a hotel that has a little kind of social space as well, so that maybe we can do some introductions and we have a space as well to kind of be around, and make sure that we're able to socialize with you guys and kind of give you tips and do any sort of orientation that we need to. Marta also lives in Pisac, so that's very convenient as well. She'll be just around the corner for at a moment's notice for anything that you need.
Lucky you,
Is there
Martin,
any
and Pisac.
Yeah,
is
I'm more
there
glad
any
than you do. I love Pisac. You will see. Such a lovely community in Playstone.
Sorry, Travis, you go.
No, it's fine. Is there any? I don't time wise. If you guys remember, it's a really annoying flight in the morning when we leave. So there won't be any time in Cusco on the way back. Is there, I know every city has things to do, but is there like any must do thing in Cusco that, before we go to Pisac that we should try to see before you guys pick us up? Or like, is there, I haven't done a lot of research into Cusco itself. I didn't know if there was anything that we're going to regret not seeing if we, because we're showing up at 11:30. If there's something that's an hour detour, not an hour detour, but would take an hour in
Yeah.
Cusco to see, like, is there anything that we should be trying to look at before we head to Pisac, or is it
Well, I was
maybe not
thinking
the case?
maybe we could, because we'll have the transport. So we could as well. I was thinking like Sacsayhuaman. There's a few different ruins on the way out of Cusco. If you wanted to, we could also. Another option would be to like have lunch in Cusco. We could do lunch in Cusco,
Okay.
and then we could have a little bit of a walk around. Luggage is in the truck, so we can find a way because I do recognize yeah, on that last day I think that there's normally groups have a little bit of time at the end, like a day to see Cusco, but obviously the flights haven't quite worked out like that. So maybe I'll have
Yeah.
a chat with Millie and we can maybe see if there's a way that we can incorporate a little bit of Cusco time, relaxed, just to help you still
Okay.
acclimate on that first day. We'll see if that we can work something out for that day.
Yeah, no pressure, and it's a long way away, I know, but I was just thinking out loud. That
No,
would be the only day
totally.
we really get to be there. So if there's anything worth seeing or on the way, it might help too with the acclimation if we're not immediately going on a hour car ride. If we sit, have some food, something like that. So
Yeah, I'll have a chat with Millie and
Yeah.
we'll get on a bit of a strategy to kind of help include a little bit of Cusco maybe in on that first day, and we'll see what works best, obviously given the itinerary.
okay,
I mean, I think the only thing that's kind of nice is, I mean, us girls, when we go there, we go crazy shopping. I know that's not going to be on the boys' agenda, but the is the lovely main square, just to see that and have a wander around there and then walk up and maybe have,
The market.
yeah, not even the market.
this would be the first time that a lot of the people that are going will have been to South America before. So I think that it feels a lot different in the South American city. I assume it's similar to how like Colombia was. Mason and I went there a few years ago, so I think it'll just be a good culture shock in a good way. Maybe
Yeah,
go to a
just
market, go to a city square, just to see the differences between the suburban craziness we have here to South America is a lot different. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cool. Well, we'll have a chat. I think there's a way. There is always a way to make it work. So we'll see what the best strategy is to fit that into the itinerary.
yeah,
cool. That sounds like a plan to me.
that sounds good.
That's all really I had. Is there anything else that you all need from us? Um, in the meantime, we'll obviously start, over time, starting to put more money towards we have the deposits all in now, but start putting more towards that. Is there
We
anything else
don't
that you need as we get closer? Or?
we won't collect that till after Christmas. So the most important
Yeah.
things are the deposits are paid, the flights are booked. We'll send over
Yep.
the gear that you can start kind of collecting that as time goes on.
Mhm.
Put stuff down for Christmas presents that you need.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, from a medical point of view, I'll send, what injections are needed, um, recommended. But again, it's up to you, but it's I will send that kit list.
Mhm. One thing that would be good to obviously, I mean, the plan is to do the trek towards Machu Picchu, the really, really beautiful trek that is going over Lares. It is a challenging trek. We've obviously had the midlifer groups do it, and everyone makes it, but it is a good thing to keep in mind, like to train a little bit for that kind of a trek. It is a multi-day trek. And just to kind of like see what it feels like to push yourself a little bit, and kind of I think we always recommend that people maybe do a little bit of like stair kind of climbing to kind of just like prepare yourselves a little bit for that kind of intensity. But ultimately we take the trek slowly, we take our time. We leave early every day, so you can take as long as you need on the trek, even if it's just you arrive like 2 hours after somebody. So we just want you guys to know that. But it is good to come in with like obviously training yourself a little bit to kind of deal with that kind of multi-day trek and camping and stuff like that. So
Sam, you're
yeah.
you're too nice. I'm going to say it more brutally. You have got to get fit. There, if you want to enjoy it, get fit. If you want to be miserable, then don't. But I've done it twice now. The first time I know I was fitter, and therefore I could look up at the view, and I wasn't huffing and puffing and really having to do kind of mental strategies to keep me going, which is what happened on the last time where I thought I could just wing it. There's no winging it. Okay. Leg strength, bottom strength, heart, you don't need to be a marathon runner, but you need to be a resilient runner, a resilient plodder that can huff and puff steadily and strongly up and down hills because you're probably walking 6 to 8 hours a day up and down, and there are steep bits. So the stronger those legs, the better. And there's no,
Yeah, absolutely.
you've just got to put the hours in.
Mm-hmm.
We made sure everybody that was coming understood that. So it's not only that, our intent is to work really, really hard during the week, before too. So it's going to be a lot of physical exhaustion, but a lot of us backpack and mountain bike and all that kind of stuff. So, it won't be something that hasn't been experienced before, but we'll make sure we're in game shape, so to speak, before we show up.
Yeah.
So that we're not too slow on the draw.
No, I think you guys will be, I mean, I think the mentality that you guys are coming in with already helps. I think that is most of the struggle. And I think if people come in and they're like willing to push themselves a little bit and listen to their body as well, because it's just it's an incredible experience. It's an incredible trek. And you all feel very bonded, with every group that I've ever done the trek with. At the end of it, you feel like your family. It's a really beautiful experience. It is like, challenging, and it's like, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of like the type 1, type 2, type 3 fun. It basically is like type 1 fun is like fun while you're doing the activity, playing dodgeball with your friends or whatever it may be, or football. Type 2 is like it's a struggle while you're doing it, but not too far ahead in the future, you'll be like feeling great and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. And type 3 is like those crazy people that do these like 400-kilometer trail runs and then they don't enjoy it till like 6 months after or something like that. So I think we're in the type 2 fun. I think that's where we'll find ourselves, but it'll be super lovely.
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
We're not immune to tattoo fun. So we're looking forward to it, and I think it'll be like you said. I think the whole group has the right mindset. So we're excited about the trek, also excited about the work, and we're gonna come in and make as much of an impact as we can as with the time we have. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are as well. And thank you guys for all of your initiative as well that you're taking and like, helping out with the materials and all of that kind of thing. We're really grateful.
Okay, so Sam,
absolutely. One other last thing I'll say, and just forgot to mention this: the Hazen and Sawyer is the engineer. That's a wastewater engineer. They're a really big firm here in the U.S. I haven't finalized it yet, but it sounds like they're going to be willing to provide some free consulting to the village. These are professional engineers that can do structural calculations, all kinds of things. So maybe that would be something we want to get with Julia about, but I think they're going to be willing to provide some insights, whether it's how the reservoir gets raised, maybe the best practices for that, or maybe there's some other projects that you've not felt like you have not the know-how, but maybe you're not sure exactly how to approach something. They do this stuff for a living, and I should, by next time we meet up, I should be able to give the confirmation that they're willing to do that, like in a professional capacity, that they're willing to donate a few hours of their time to kind of help with that kind of stuff if there's a need.
Amazing. That's great. I'll already have a chat with Julia after this and kind of go through all of the stuff that we've talked about, but that sounds amazing. And she'll be able to come to that next meeting maybe with a bit more of some ideas maybe, and then once you come back with your side. So I'll debrief her on everything that we've talked about today.
We'll for sure have their resources. It's just a matter of whether it'll be official or not. But there's already 3 or 4 people there that have already said that even if the company doesn't offer their support officially, that they're willing to unofficially look at things, talk through your ideas. So in some capacity, there'll be a help in that way if it's needed. So.
Amazing. That's really exciting to hear.
That's all I
Thank
have.
you. Awesome.
Okay. Sam, if I put together the kit list, I know what the trekking kit list looks like, but for the first week, will you just check it?
Yeah, you send it through to me and I'll go over with any sort of new things that maybe we've added for Kenko specific items.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Oh, where's Travis gone? He's disappeared.
I'm still here. Sorry.
Oh, you're still there. Oh. Okay, so all right, I'll put the recording online and send you the link, Travis, so you can forward it to everyone. And then I'll send everything that we've discussed today.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Be in touch. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.